Okay, review right before the quiz. Guys, go back to number 1. So we had to make a histogram out of this data that was shown to us. What I'm going to do this now that we all have it so you can see. Guys, do you know who this is? No?
Basketball player.
Okay, I'll take it. He's a basketball player. Good work. All right, first on the histogram, I need someone to, with their hand up, tell me what did you name your histogram? The big huge tower across the top. Michaela, what did you name yours? Free throws made. All right, super important you have a title. So we have free throws made. All right, so Kaylee, Savannah, Isaiah, make sure you pay attention. It doesn't take too long. I know you guys are absent. Then you've got to have your y-axis and your x-axis. Another hand in the air. Keyword that goes right here. What is it, Jack?
Frequency.
Frequency has to go right here. All right, keyword, frequency. Okay, this one, I told you last week, usually you'll see a histogram, they don't have this vocab word, but I had you write it so you wouldn't forget what it was. Matt, do you remember what I'm talking about? Intervals. Intervals always go across the bottom. So keyword intervals, but then you also have to name the bottom. Somebody have a name for that bottom. Kirsten, what'd you do?
Free throws.
Free throws. All right. Super important. I always do my labels first, otherwise I forget them. Because then I get making my graph and I have fun playing with the colors. Frequency. Come back to this one. Hand in the air. How did you label this one? Did you count by ones? Did you count by twos? Come on, what did you do? By ones? Okay, I'll do the same as you then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now that we have those on there, we've got to start with our intervals, right? The first interval is how big? 0 to what? You can say it out loud, guys. 0 to 2, and how many made between 0 and 2? All right, so up to 9. Guys, I always make my bar first, and then I come down and I make sure my interval is right underneath that. Because sometimes I write the interval and then I make my bar too little. I just like it to be perfect. So 0 to 2, here's that, and we go all the way up to 9. Next one, Gage, what do I do for the next one? All right, so I'm going to do 6 first, so I come up to 6, and then I come down, and then I make sure I write small enough or big enough to make sure the interval label is right underneath it. 3 to 5. All right, next interval. Skylar, what's the next one?
6 to 8.
6 to 8, and there's 2, so come down to 2. Interval underneath, 6 to 8. All right, last one, whole class. How many people made between 9 and 11? One person. So sneak it in. 9 to 11. How many of you? I have the perfect histogram matches. We good? Okay, let's do another one. Sold, yep. Guys, nice and loud. What did you name this one?
Magazine sold.
Magazine sold. Okay, so that should be the title across the top. What's the key vocab word that goes on the left?
Frequency.
All right, we've got magazines. Is that weird on the orange background?
No, I think
It's okay. All right. Y-axis, x-axis, frequency right here. Okay, what's the vocab word that goes on the bottom? Okay, intervals along the bottom. And then what did you name it? Just put sold? Magazines. All right, some of you just put sold. Some of you just put magazines. I think that's a little bit dangerous. I think magazine sold is more descriptive. So don't forget to put sold on there. Okay, help me out. Hand in the air, the frequency part. What did you count by on this one? Looks like smallest is 2, biggest is 9. Actually, hold up with your fingers. What did you count by? 1, 2, 3? Some of you did 3. All right, looks like most of you did 1s. But we did 1s on the last one, so let's show 2s. It always starts at 0. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There's a 10? Oh, yeah. I got you. Okay, so the first interval, how many people sold between 0 and 5? 3 people, so come up to the 3, between that 2 and 4, and then don't forget to write your interval nice and neat right underneath it. That's okay. Sky's question asks, can you write the number of people right above it? That's fine. I've also seen people write right inside, like a 3. That's okay. All right, next one, we've got to go up to 9. And then make sure we put our interval underneath. So 9 people sold between 6 and 11 magazine. Alright, next one. 8 people sold between 12 and 17, right? 12 and 17. Last interval, how many people sold between 18 and 23? 2 people. Bumblebee colors. How many of you have the same thing? You okay with that? Question for you. Guys, should our histograms be touching each other?
Yeah.
How come?
Because
Jack, thanks for raising your hand. How come?
Because they're close. It's like 5 and 6. They're just one number apart.
Perfect. He said they're close to each other. 5 and 6, they're one number apart. 5 and 6 touching. 11 and 12 touching. 17, 18. How many? I got this. I can make the histograms. Okay, what about looking at a histogram and answering questions? This is exactly like the warm-up. Let's practice it. Okay, ready? Try this one. Okay, letter A says which interval contains the most data values? Do we need to look at the y-axis or the x-axis? X-axis. So which one has the most? Perfect. So write it just like that. So write your interval 10 to 14. How many? I got that one. Not a problem. Easy to see which one is the biggest or the smallest. Next one. How many swimmers are on the team? I want someone to explain how to find this. We did this on the warm-up, but let's get another helpful hint. Kaylee, tell us what to do. Okay, add up all the frequencies. So what do I put for this one right here? What do you guys think? 9 or 10?
9.
That is kind of tricky, huh? Because they don't have our lines right next to it. Okay, let's think of it as 9. What about this one? Okay, and then the last one? You guys put 20? Okay. So 20 plus 12, 32, right? 32 plus, oh, thanks. Well, we've got this. 20 plus 12, 32. 32 plus 9, 41? 41 plus our last one, which is 3. Should we think of it as 44? I agree with you. This is kind of tricky. 9, 10. Last one then. If we're sticking with our 44, what percent of the swimmers swam more than 14 laps? Stop. Would you count this bar graph?
No.
This one?
No.
This one?
Yes.
It has to be more than 14, right? So it couldn't be this one either. So this is the only one that counts. So let's stick it. This is what we showed on the warm-up. So you've got 3 over. We're going to stick with 44 swimmers. You can set it as a percent proportion equals x over 100. And then solve it. 3 times 100 divided by 44. Grab your calculators, type it in. All right, Alyssa, what'd you get? 16.8%? 6.8? Can I round to 7? You okay with that? Questions on that one? Guys, I'm curious, how many of you got letter C? That's not the only way to do it, right? You can divide it, bounce the decimal. I like percent proportion. Okay, one more set. Let's call it good.